Hello, everybody. Probably will have a little delay between our hangout and the live stream, but I'm watching it on the side. So, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I already see that there's people in the chat, and I'll mute myself. And today I have the wonderful speaker and author of Lucid Dreaming, Gateway to Inner Self, Robert Waggoner. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. It's a pleasure to have you. And, you've been actually the inspiration for me to kind of start that Lucid Dreaming channel because I saw one of your videos on YouTube and you talked about like what you can do to reveal questions behind, the conscious mind. And I was like, wow, like I had lucid dreams for my whole life and I never knew what to do with them. I just wasted all of them. And in that moment, I was like, two things I have to do: buy your book and start researching more about that. So thank you so much for making this dream come true.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, that's the reason I wrote my first book, Lucid Dreaming Gateway to the Inner Self, is that I had taught myself how to lucid dream back in 1975. So I've been doing this for more than 40 years now. And Stephen LaBerge wrote some great books and a great introduction to lucid dreaming and the scientific basis for it, but there's so much more to it. And no one was writing books about how you could take it even further and the things that people were discovering. So after a while, when I saw my friends weren't going to write books, I decided, boy, I'll write a book. And it's been so great. I hear from people all around the world who tell me they've totally changed their approach to lucid dreaming. I'll hear from people who used to read Stephen LaBerge's book all the time and had a lot of lucid dreams, but they never did anything with them. And then they read my book and they go, whoa, now I get it. Now I see that there's more to it. So thank you. Thank you for reading my book.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, in case, you're a lucid dreamer and for a really odd reason you didn't come across the book, I'm literally not endorsing this because, I want to promote you. This is literally the best book on lucid dreaming I have read. I mean, this was like almost like a lucid dreaming induction technique for me because lucid dreaming came kind of natural for me when I was a child. Just reading like 5 pages of like inspiring stuff that really puts my mind on the lucid dreaming experiments literally almost gave me a lucid dreaming guarantee. Like I would have 5 lucid dreams in a week just by reading that book, for 10 minutes. It was great.
I hear that from other lucid dreamers that they start reading the book and their mind gets so into it that suddenly they start having lucid dreams without even planning to, just because their head gets so engaged with the ideas. So thanks so much. It's really an honor to have that book out there.
Yeah, and then for anybody of you guys who don't know, Robert is also publishing the Lucid Dreaming magazine. It's really great. One of my friends in Fullerton, he actually submitted a dream and he got published in your magazine. He's also a big fan. And there's really great dreams in there that I read, that just give you a different perspective on how other people have super creative dreams. And you're like, wow, my stuff is really not even that bad.
Yeah, so this is what the print copy looks like, but anyone can get it for free online. It's totally free. It's something my friend Lucy Gillis, who's a wonderful lucid dreamer up in Vancouver, she and I have been producing this for 15 years every 3 months. And so you can basically read 10 years of the past issues of this magazine. And we always encourage people to submit their lucid dreams, submit articles. I interview people, and you can always find it at dreaminglucid.com. But it's a lot of fun because even I get inspired reading it. It's great to see what other people are doing with lucid dreams.
All right, so let's get this party started. I see that we already have 10 people viewing live, so that's great. Hello, guys. Hi, Svetloslav, Stoikov, and Wrong Way Ray. Thank you so much for commenting already. We'll just address, some of your questions right away because I think they're great. And the first question that we have is from Svetloslav. Sorry for saying maybe your name wrong. Robert Waggoner. Could you elaborate a bit on mutual dreaming? Is it really possible? And it is possible to communicate with someone through the dream if they're not lucid dreamers?
Yeah. So these are all good questions. In that first book, Lucid Dreaming Gateway to the Inner Self, I have an entire chapter on mutual lucid dreaming. And so in that chapter, I can address this in much greater depth and kind of put some philosophy and context behind it. But in general, yes, I believe that mutual lucid dreams are possible. But a person might want to explore it in a different way, and that's by doing experiments with a friend in dream telepathy. And so dream telepathy actually has had scientific experiments done by Stanley Krippner, who is a psychologist, and Montague Ullman, who is a psychiatrist. And they did experiments in the 70s and 80s on dream telepathy and wrote a book called Dream Telepathy, which gives some wonderful examples of dream telepathy and how it works. And the reason I say dream telepathy is an easier way to do it, I had a friend in Holland, Suzanne. She and I used to do dream telepathy each month for about maybe a year and a half or 2 years. And so one week I would send, and the next week she would send. And when she was sending, I would be trying to dream whatever she was sending. And so sometimes we'd do images, sometimes we'd do photos, sometimes we would do personal objects she would send. But then we got to a place where we wondered, could you send music as a dream telepathy project? So I told her, okay, you go first and you find some music on YouTube or whatever that you want to send, and you concentrate on it for about 5 minutes every hour for 3 or 4 hours and sending it to me, and I'll try to dream about it. So what happened was, the first time she sent me trance music, electronic rave music, and all night I just kept hearing this electronic rave music over and over and over. I was so pissed off when I woke up. I was really pissed off because when you hear that crap going through your head all night, it's just like,
Oh my
really
God.
And so in the morning, I wrote her and said, you know, you sent me electronic rave music. And of course, that's what she had sent. And so I thought, okay, what could I do here? And so what I did was this. I went online and found on YouTube the Dutch national anthem, which I think is really a horrible piece of music. I'm sorry, people of the Netherlands. I just think it's not the greatest piece of music ever written. And anyway, so I kept watching it, intending for her to dream about it. And what she dreamt, she fell asleep that night, and she dreamt that her and her father were going to the soccer stadium or the football stadium. And as she's walking along in the dream, she's thinking, my father hates soccer. Why are we going to the soccer stadium? And then they go through the entrance, and all of a sudden the Dutch national anthem begins.
Oh my God.
And so when you play around with dream telepathy, it might show that there's a basis that on another level, we're all connected, but it's at the level of dreams. Or through the dimension of dreams, we can interact with each other. So it's not to say that Suzanne came into my dream and turned on the music. She just sent the idea that the intent was the important thing to send. But if you start to work with a friend, you'll see how this happens. But when you send an image, you don't see the image exactly. Like, let's say someone sends a dolphin jumping out of the ocean. I might not dream of a dolphin jumping out of the ocean, but I might dream of an animal in water, you know, and what's that strange animal doing in water? I won't dream of the image exactly because I have to translate what they're sending, and then I also have to translate it into dream symbols, and then I have to remember it closely enough so that when I wake up, I can write down what it was. But if you want to play around with mutual dreaming, what I would suggest is find a friend who you like, who's a good dreamer, and start doing experiments in dream telepathy. Also, I run the website dreamtelepathy.com, and there you can see some examples. For example, on Lucipedia, there were some people, the movie Inception had come out, and they were writing, oh, Inception's stupid, oh, it's impossible, mutual dreaming, that's just crazy. And I wrote a post and said, no, it's not crazy. Mutual lucid dreaming is possible. And they said, oh, you know, that's insane. What would be the mechanism? And I said, it's dream telepathy, probably. And so then on Lucipedia, we did an experiment. And I told the guy, get 10 images, randomize them, find a sender. They told me it was all fakery, that the sender and the receiver were colluding together. And I told them, you guys find the sender. I don't even need necessarily to know who it is. So they found this one woman, Annalise. She and I just emailed back and forth a couple times just to figure out who we are. And then that night, on the night of the event, the entire night, I was dreaming of restaurants. I would try to leave a restaurant, but the road would be blocked and I'd have to go back to the restaurant. And so I submitted my 5 dreams that night, and all of them were about food and restaurants. And the image was of a waitress in a restaurant carrying a platter of food to people. Yeah. And so the guy who set up the experiment, he was totally flipped, you know, that someone could do this, because you're not supposed to. But again, at a different level, I think we're all connected, and that's what explains mutual dreaming and mutual lucid dreaming. But dream telepathy is the fundamental thing underneath it all.